As a same-sex couple, you have to come out over and over. And in the military, you move all the time. You have to come out again to everybody. Moving to every one of the small towns, it's always a concern, especially with children.
We focus on the military member. However, in order for the military member to be effective, their family really, truly has to be resilient.
You need greater understanding of who those families are, how families define themselves within the lives that they live, who are involved. We need to be thinking about the definition of families, understanding access, understanding who requires support, and recognizing that military service members are the ones that really define who their families are, whether that meets the strict criteria of what DoD defines a family as, or whether it's outside that definition.
The construct of the family is different today than it was, say, 50 years ago. If you consider back to the time that the National Military Family Association was founded back in 1969, during the height of the Vietnam War, the force that was serving was drafted, typically a single male.
Lee and I met when she was in flight school in Pensacola, Florida. Lee is a major in the Marine Corps, Lieutenant Colonel Select. It's been good since my mother-in-law's passing to have my father-in-law around and in the house, and to just be able to go through that together as a family, and to have the kids have that relationship with him.
It's been tough because, losing a spouse of 32 years. I've been blessed though to have really lived with the kids and Lee and Kat, because they've kept me busier than I normally would have been. Kat does a lot of the cooking. I try to get carry-outs for them at least several times a week to take some burden off of her. I'm becoming an expert dishwasher. I do all the dishwashing.
I was working, and now I am no longer working. I am actively looking for employment, and it is without a doubt one of the most soul-crushing things ever.
At least military pay by design is middle to working class pay levels. More and more families, American families, not just military families, require two incomes.
When my husband and I were stationed in Nebraska at Offutt Air Force Base, I decided to go back to school to become a teacher. So I get my teaching certification, only to discover, as I find out once we have orders from North Carolina, that North Carolina at that point in 2010 only had reciprocity with 32 states. And of course, none of those states were Midwestern states. It's not just the financial benefits of employment. I wanted to teach, and I missed it. It's something I'm not gonna do now, but man, I would have loved it.
Some of the things that military family members have to deal with are geographic separation. If a family has a family member who have special needs, it's going to be really important for those families to be able to take on that challenge. And those services need to be available to them.
Come on, Michael.
Further again, Michael.
Michael was showing signs of being delayed in some of his emotional development, certainly academically, particularly his fine motor skills. Charles's issues are a little bit different. Charles's are more his ADHD makes him sometimes get off task very easily. Michael's first assignment after Tennessee was Fort Eustis, Virginia. He was there at Fort Eustis for 3 years, and then he was PCS to the Pentagon in Fort Belvoir, which is where he is stationed currently.
Oh, that was a good shot.
I never met.
He hit that?
It was definitely concerning because the boys were so established at school and the services that they were getting, and Michael was well connected with the community that he had established through networking.
So we decided it might be best to actually maintain the home in Williamsburg, while Michael maybe had an apartment somewhere else close where he could be during the week and be home on weekends as necessary. Many families, we know military families especially, where the families are separated for years at a time.
It's definitely a challenge, I think, emotionally. It gets tough at times.
So if you talk to many spouses and kids, they love being military families. But we can't ignore that the challenges that they face, and we need to make sure that the systems that are in place to manage those challenges are ready.